Shalom, and welcome to our Tikkun at Home. I'm Rabbi Enid of Beth Israel, the West Temple, and I'm very pleased to be able to be with you for this special series of presenters. My topic this evening is called I Betroth You to Me Forever, Ketubot and Shavuot, the ketubas of Shavuot. This talk is based on Shavuot, an anniversary of a cosmic marriage, the work of Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt. The festival of Shavuot has come to commemorate the revelation of the Torah. In biblical times, the holiday was an agricultural festival celebrating the end of the wheat harvest, but in rabbinic literature it is associated with the moment when the children of Israel stood together at Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. Traditionally, Shavuot is celebrating by studying the Torah and other Jewish texts all night long in the ritual known as Tikkun Le'el Shavuot, the Tikkun of the night of Shavuot. We'll be talking about what Tikkun means and how it's relevant to this topic. In mystical Jewish thought, the holiday of Shavuot was interpreted as a kind of symbolic wedding between God and the Shekhinah, or God and the people of Israel. After the exodus from Egypt, the children of Israel and God commit to each other at Sinai. Here is a text from the Zohar, the Jewish mystical commentary on Torah, that offers a description of preparation for this marriage, in this case between the Shekhinah and the Eternal. Rabbi Shimeon used to sit and learn Torah at night, the time when the bride joined with her spouse. It is taught the members of the bride's entourage are obligated to stay with her throughout the night before her wedding with her spouse, to rejoice with her in those perfections, tikkunim, by which she is made perfect. They should learn Torah, prophets, and writings, homilies on the verses, and the secrets of wisdom, for these are her perfections and adornments. She enters with her bridesmaids and stands above those who study, for she is readied by them and rejoices in them all the night. On the morrow she enters the canopy with them, and they are her entourage. When she enters the canopy, the Holy One, blessed be He, asks about them, blesses them, crowns them with the bride's adornments. Blessed is their destiny. Let's take a closer look at that. The bride in this context is the Shekhinah, the immanent, indwelling aspect of God. The spouse is the Holy Blessed One, the aspect of God that is wholly transcendent. We are the bride's entourage, attending to the Shekhinah on the eve of her marriage. All who study Torah on Erev Shavuot strengthen her and cause her to rejoice, and in return, the Holy Blessed One crowns us with the Shekhinah's jewels, with the bride's jewels, beneath the chuppah at dawn. This mystical marriage, in fact, is a moment of cosmic unity, bringing together binaries like the heavens and the earth, through the Torah, which descends from heaven, and Mount Sinai, which reaches up from the earth, the night and the day, which join through the all-night study that continues through the dawn, and male and female in the divine, understood as the mystical groom, and the people of Israel personified as the bride. This idea of bringing together opposites and joining that which was separate is expressed in the idea of tikkun, which means to return to a state of completion or to repair, as in the popular social justice slogan, Tikkun Olam, to heal or repair the world. Thus, the night of Shavuot, Tikkun Le'el Shavuot, is a tikkun, a restoration, a movement towards wholeness and bringing together those things which should be united but now are separate. But tikkun has another meaning, to adorn or decorate, especially in the context of marriage. Thus, as we read in the passage from the Zohar, the night of Shavuot is also a tikkun, in the sense that it is the night of adorning the bride, either the unified people of Israel or the Shekhinah, the feminine and earthly divine presence, for the marriage which takes place during Revelation. Later in the Zohar, we read what Rabbi Shimon would say on the night of Shavuot. Let us go and adorn letakna, the fineries of the bride, so that she may be ready to appear before the king with her fineries and adornments as is proper. Thus, on the night of Shavuot, we are invited to take part in the adorning of the bride by studying Torah, readying ourselves as a community in preparation for the union in Revelation. In many communities, like ours, the mystical marriage of Shavuot is enacted in more than just a metaphorical fashion, but also included actual wedding customs, such as putting up a chuppah, a wedding canopy, in the synagogue, and reciting a ketubah, the wedding contract between God and Israel, during the service. This ceremony usually occurs before or at dawn. There are various versions of Piyutim, religious poems, used nearly all similar in terminology to the traditional Tanayim, or premarital document, specifying the conditions agreed upon between the two parties, and the ketubah, which is the certificate the bridegroom presents to the bride at the wedding ceremony. This religious poetry is based on the verses, "I will betroth you to me forever. Yea, I will betroth you to me in righteousness, and in justice, and in loving kindness, and in compassion. And I will betroth you to me in faithfulness, and you shall know the eternal." These verses are from Hosea, and also, "I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel," from Jeremiah. Some texts describe the marriage as being solemnized symbolically between the Torah, as the bride, and the people of Israel, who become the bridegroom. In these versions, God, as the bride's father, gives as dowry the 613 commandments, the Bible, Talmud, and other sacred writings. Moses becomes the father of the groom, the people of Israel, and presents as dowry the talit and tefillin, the Sabbath and festivals. The contracts are witnessed by God and God's servant, Moses. In the version we will examine, the Prince of Princes and the Ruler of Rulers presents the Torah to the bride as dowry, and in his love he gives her the oral law as an added portion. The bride responds affectionately, "We shall do and we shall hear." The contract is dated the 6th of the month of Sivan in the year 2448 from the creation, which is traditionally the day on which the Torah was given. The heavens and the earth witness the marriage certificate. The most widely used text of a Ketubah LaShavuot is that of the prolific Safed mystic and poet Israel Nahara, who lived from about 1550 to 1625. Many of his piyutim are found in the liturgy of Sephardic or Oriental Jews. Let's take a look at a partial translation of his hymn, included in the Sephardic prayer book for Shavuot. Friday, the 6th of Sivan, the day appointed by the Lord for the revelation of the Torah to his beloved people, the invisible one came forth from Sinai, shone from Seir, and appeared from Mount Paran unto all the kings of the earth, in the year 2448 since the creation of the world, the era by which we are accustomed to reckon in this land, whose foundations were upheld by God, as it is written, "For he hath founded upon it the seas, and established upon it the floods." The bridegroom, God, ruler of rulers, prince of princes, distinguished among the select, whose mouth is pleasing, and all of whom is delightful, said unto the pious, lovely, and virtuous maiden, the people of Israel, who won his favor above all women, who is beautiful as the moon, radiant as the sun, awesome as bannered hosts, "Many days wilt thou be mine, and I will be thy redeemer. Behold, I have sent thee golden precepts through the lawgiver Yehutiel, Moses. Be thou my mate according to the law of Moses and Israel, and I will honor, support, and maintain thee, and be thy shelter and refuge in everlasting mercy. And I will set aside for thee, in lieu of thy virginal faithfulness, the life-giving Torah by which thou and thy children will live in health and tranquility. You may notice that Moses' name on this page, in this part of the Ketubah, is given as Yehuktiel, and this is one of the names of Moses that we find in the book of Chronicles. Also we read, Be thou my mate according to the law of Moses and Israel. And as the groom puts the ring on the bride's finger and says, Be thou consecrated unto me according to the laws of Moses and the people of Israel, this echoes that as well. We continue. This bride, Israel, consented and became his spouse. Thus an eternal covenant, binding them forever, was established between them. The bridegroom then agreed to add to the above all future expositions of Scripture, including Sifra, Sifrei, Agadah, and Tosefta. He established the primacy of the 248 positive commandments that are incumbent upon all, and added to them the 365 negative commandments. The dowry that this bride brought from the house of her father consists of an understanding heart that understands, ears that hearken, and eyes that see. As we continue, thus, the sum total of the contract and the dowry, with the addition of the positive and negative commandments, amounts to the following: revere God and observe his commandments. This applies to all mankind. The bridegroom, desiring to confer privileges upon his people Israel and to transmit these valuable assets to them, took upon himself the responsibility of this marriage contract to be paid from the best portions of his property. All these conditions are valid and established forever and ever. The bridegroom has given his oath to carry them out in favor of his people and to enable those that love him to inherit substance. Thus the Lord has given his oath. The bridegroom has followed the legal formality of symbolic delivery of this document, which is bigger than the earth and broader than the seas. Everything, then, is firm, clear, and established. And finally, I invoke heaven and earth as reliable witnesses. May the bridegroom rejoice with the bride whom he has taken as his lot, and may the bride rejoice with the husband of her youth while uttering words of praise. Now, let's return to the verses by Hosea. We found in chapter 2, verses 21 to 22. The verses recited each day as the final twists of tefillin are affixed to one's hand. I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you to me in righteousness and justice, in loving kindness and in compassion. And I will betroth you to me in faithfulness, and you will know God. And you will know God. What does it mean to know God? Perhaps it is a knowing that exists in deep identification with the other, the holy other. Let me remind you of the nature of the Tikkun Leil Shavuot, that our study is undertaken for the sake of the Tikkun, the unification of the eternal and the Shekhinah, a union of transcendence and immanence. This is a Tikkun to bridge the God far above and the God deep within. In any loving relationship, we strive to know each other. We strive to know God, the God beyond ourselves and the God within ourselves. And we strive to know our beloved, the beloved beside and beyond me, and the beloved whose heart beats with my own. It takes a leap of faith to walk down the wedding aisle, and it took a leap of faith to stand at Sinai as well. One doesn't begin a marriage by saying, okay, so tell me everything that's going to be entailed in this relationship over the next so many years, and then I'll decide whether I'm up for it or not. One begins a marriage with an existential yes. And so it was, and so it continues to be in our relationship with the Holy Blessed One. Remember, Torah tells us that as the children of Israel stood at Sinai and entered into this covenantal relationship with God, Their response to God was Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will hear. This was their existential yes. With each Shavuot, we renew the vows our people took so long ago and take the leap of faith that gives life to our relationship with the eternal in our lives, trusting that our understanding of one another and our bond with one another will deepen as the years go by. Chag Sameach. May your Shavuot be filled with joy, with wholeness, and deep appreciation as you take your place at Sinai.